Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a more sim racing system content on the channel. This time we're in the Formula 3 car in the Daniel Juncadella series. Honestly, I haven't actually researched who he is yet, but I think obviously he might be a Formula 3 racing driver overall there as well. Yeah, really looking forward to this one, something a bit different. You know, for those of you that have been around on my channel a long time, you know I like, obviously, with mainly F1 content that's pretty much gained me all of my subscribers on my main channel. I'm quite a fan of driving open wheelers on different games and sims. But yeah, this is a 6-week series, obviously pretty much like most of them over on Assetto Corsa. A really, really interesting series. Only run once a week, so it does mean you do get quite high populated lobbies, and it takes us around 6 obviously brilliant tracks around the world. We've got Brands Hatch, Spa, Watkins Glen, Zandvoort, Monza, and Sebring for the finale, so really quite looking forward to this series as well. You know, a lot of series on the channel at the moment from sim racing system. Obviously, with it only being 6-week series, I do sort of find that I'm more likely, you know, to complete in every single one. You know, it's not such a particularly long schedule. You know, a lot of them it doesn't even matter if like you obviously a lot of them it's only sort of like you've got plenty of races a week where you can gain the points as well. So, but for ones like this, it is just one race a week overall. Obviously, split over as many people have signed up. There will be different lobbies nonetheless. But yeah, coming through the final couple of corners of my qualifying lap here, you know, it's going to be a fairly decent run on the whole there. Down in towards the final turn, we are not going to be able to get the best run out of there. Going to cost myself a little bit of time. But down towards the line then, what time is it going to be? It's going to be a 1 minute 15.894, which means we miss out on pole by just 0.03 of a second there, which is a little bit heartbreaking on the whole. I would go for another run right at, well, continuing on from that first lap there, but make a huge mistake that this car does not like second gear. You need it for the hairpin, but it does not like going into it there, which is unfortunate on the whole. Yeah, but yeah, very, very tightly bunched at the top of the field there. Martin just ahead of me there with Delano as well, who some of you may recognise from the GT3 Asia series that I did, obviously, a few days ago as well. But yeah, the thing is, obviously, racing at Brands Hatch as well, it's basically just a slipstream battle. This car, obviously, it's quite good in the slipstream. It does sort of close up a lot as well, which is obviously really, really important. It is fixed setup for this series as well, so it doesn't mean like anyone's going to have some top-end OP advantage over anyone else as well here. So it's going to be interesting to see how we fare in this race. Starting right at the very front, as I said, it's basically a slipstream battle on the whole, which is really, really important. We're going to go with 19 laps of fuel here. Obviously, go a little bit safe in terms of that there. Make sure we're on the medium tyres. We're ready for the start of this race. But yeah, looking forward to this one. Formula 3 cars, Brands Hatch, something a bit different. I am planning on doing a Formula 3 series down the line, although it most likely will not be on Assetto Corsa, nonetheless, obviously, where I already do the Formula 2 Lando's Road to F1 currently. But yeah, on the grid, ready for this one, we got a nice, I think it's a 19-car grid, as you can see. So fairly packed for this one. I think we have 3 lobbers for this, with my still very, very low driver rating, though, unfortunately. I was in split 3, which was a little bit sad, but obviously I am, you know, the more I do this, the more I can get it up over the next few weeks. But yeah, here we are then on the grid, ready for this race. The lights are now on. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 red lights here for the F3 race, and it is lights out, and finally away we go. They're off to a fairly good start there. Martin bogs down a lot more than I do there, gets a huge amount more wheel spin after launch there. We're going to be on the outside in towards turn 1, not really going to try and gamble around the outside of him there, and everyone does seem to keep it nice and tidy towards the front of the field. I having a look in the mirrors. I think basically everyone was able to keep it nice and tidy there. We make a little bit of a mistake as we come through the hairpin there, but fortunately very, very lucky in the fact no one was able to capitalise on that one there as we now come down through these next couple of corners here. As you can see, closing up to the back of Martin there, made a bit of a mistake as we came through turn 3, right around the outside maybe, as we go through the long flowing left-hander there. I can only apologise, I do not know Brands Hatch corner names, first of all. We'll get that one straight off the bat. But yeah, up the inside of Martin in towards the fast right-hander here. We're going to bail out of that one, no way. We're going to try and gamble that up the inside there. It's just going to be an accident waiting to happen. And no point with 19 minutes to go of this race if we take any risks just yet there. Vladislav and Delano behind will actually make a little bit of, well, they get very, very close together. I think that we had a little bit of laggy contact as well with Martin. Unfortunately, it doesn't cost either of us anything there. But as we come through in towards the final couple of corners, though, of the lap, and the most important thing is that we're just applying the pressure there, faking to the inside, even though we have no intent of going for the move there, and out of the final corner. Just look at the run we're able to get on Martin here. We're going to be able to have a look to the inside. Don't want to almost push him in towards turn 1 here, but we are going to be almost wheel to wheel there, but we do bail out once more. They're not wanting to take the gamble I was a bit worried that you might just, you know, pinch me over the curb, so expecting me to bail out. Braking now down in towards turn 3 there, and Martin has run horrifically wide through that corner there, so he's going to be able to get a good run on the exit, but he's going to be side by side until he completely chops over me there. Not too sure what that one was all about. You know, I felt I was giving him a lot of racing respect up to that point, so now there is no mercy being made. Now up the inside of Martin there, park it on the apex, don't give him the run on the exit, and leave him now for Vladislav as well. I think it's Ladislav even, I don't think he pronounced the V in that name there, hopefully to pile on the pressure to him now that we see that plan didn't quite work out just yet there through the next corner though without the dirty A, and we're able to get a phenomenal run through there. Basically, if you get it right, you can take it just about flat, which is obviously really cool as well here. But yeah, now Ladislav is trying to fight Martin, as is obviously really important for myself. They exceed in the rearview mirrors and running a little bit wide there. I think Martin has actually been forced wide there and crashed out, so that is going to be him rage quitting almost instantly from this race. How it can go from hero to zero so quickly there for him. But that was really critical for myself, because that meant we could try and gap a little bit towards the early stages of this race. The gap was already up to about 1 second here, and obviously really important that we can try and make that gap even bigger here, so no one can try and use the slipstream here. So build ourselves up our own little racing window in this race would be really important as well here. And yet over these next few laps, we would just be able to extend our advantage at the top all the way on till for about the next 15 minutes nearly here. With 4 minutes to go, we would still be in the lead of this race. Delano was about holding level with me at this stage of the day. Obviously, when you get further and further in, you don't want to take too many risks at this stage. And it had been quite a weirdly hectic race on the whole. There a lot of lap traffic, obviously on a very sort of small circuit, a very sort of high-speed lap as well. If you make a mistake, it does cost you a huge amount of time, which is obviously really important. You know, for those guys that were battling further down the order, you know, that were just like making mistakes by themselves. You know, we had lapped quite a few people at this stage of the day here, but this yellow flag's out. I think we're going to be lapping Vasil for a second time in this race here. As you can see, coming up in towards this horrible flowing right-hander there. I really struggle to try and get the car on the apex there, but unfortunately, in towards the penultimate corner there, we lock at the fronts ever so slightly, dip the wheel on the grass there, and that's us up into the wall. Although the damage, you know, that should probably be the car completely written off there. Fortunately, somehow we survived that with no suspension damage there, which would obviously have completely ruined our race on the whole. Though we do just lose, well, we get a lot front wing and a bit of rear wing damage from that one there. I think the damage is only on 60%, which is obviously really ideal for myself there, obviously with that instant on the whole there. But yeah, unfortunately that was basically me out of a shot of the race victory. That horrible way to choke it right towards the very end there, and that was absolutely heartbreaking there, not able to make it. Obviously the win in the BMWs, unfortunately just missed out on the win in the Formula 3 car there. But out in towards the final couple of corners, you can see we're still making mistakes over these last couple of laps. We would slowly but surely close back up to Delano, but obviously it would just be too late towards the end of the race. So GG's to him, able to come through for the race victory there. He came from, I think, P4, P5 on the grid there, so just going to show, you know, you can carve your way through the order in these Formula 3 cars there, even though it's not something, you know, I particularly like to go rubbing his racing in as well. So yeah, good job by him to take home the race victory. Obviously hope he's very happy with that one. But that is it for the opening week of the Daniel Juncadella Formula 3 series here. Next week out we will be at the legendary Spa circuit. Really looking forward to that one as well. But thank you all so much for watching this video. Make sure you do like and subscribe if you're new around here as well, and you do want to see more of the Assetto Corsa sim racing system content on the channel over the next few days. But that has been it from me, and hopefully I will see you guys next time out for Spa.